here back for another Transformer Transformation Review thingy. Lovely day. Nice weather. Please don't get any warmer. If summer was just like that, if every day was like that, I'd be happy. I don't want it any warmer because I'm Irish. I was born pale blue and I burn like a fucker. Anyway, Dave, it was such a good thing that you done with your reduxing of the Getting to Know a Transformers Fan, number 4, I believe. It was great to see everybody chip in. It really achieved what it set out to, I think, which is to bring the community together. And indeed, there is a Transformers community. If anyone was ever in any doubt, and there was a little consternation before because we'd recently been talking about it in the Transformers community. It had been mooted, the idea of the Transformers community, and some were saying yes, some were saying no, and some were saying not especially, but it does exist, and we pulled our resources, and really kudos to you, man, for getting that up and going again. Only you could have rolled that ball once again, and I'm really pleased you did. I was introduced to lots of people that I had never met before or never seen before, and it's great. Come to Auto Assembly. Auto Assembly is just over 4 months away. I'm already excited about Auto Assembly. George Exaggerated Elegy is already excited about Auto Assembly because we met up in Birmingham the other day and we done our coffee and shopping. That's the day I go home speeding, feeling as if my heart's going to pound out of my chest because I drink so much freaking coffee. But he's excited about it and I'm excited about it. And you should be excited about it because it's awesome. And if you're coming for the first time, it's going to be so good. Nightscream, ladies and gentlemen. Beast Machine's Nightscream. Beast Machine's Ultra Nightscream. Nay, Ultra Nightscream. Now, this is a redux. In the spirit of reduxing. Yes. That's just an excuse to do a figure. He normally sits up there. People have asked me so much recently over the past couple of months to do this guy. And indeed, he screamed at me, excuse the pun, very bad, from the shelves tonight and said, it's my turn, Ray. So it's Beast Machine's Ultra Nightscream. A wonderfully flawed but exquisite experiment in Transformers. Wonderful Beast era aesthetic with something that could be a little trans-techy. Nice big bot. What kind of plastic do you get with this? My God, you get the whole gamut of plastic. You get soft, elastic plastic, and you get the most brittle and the most shamefully rigid plastic. Beautiful figure. He's a big old thing, and he turns into a bat. I love bats. That should have been my handle. Instead of fucking I love bats, I love bats. I might change it. Don't steal that, please. So, a little bit of BG, not enough to do any harm. That's iTunes. I'm not opening iTunes. Nightscream Series Beast Machines Ultra figure. Let's get ready to make some noise. He says that apparently. May as well, let's get ready to rumble. No, that's probably a cassette from Generation 1. As the first known survivor of Megatron's conversion freezing virus, Nightscream has brought a new optimism to the Maximals' cause. He's living proof of the organic history of Cybertron. In beast mode, boasts unmatched speed and aerial maneuverability. Excuse me. Sonic pulses can blast through all alloys, not most, all alloys. Think on. Razor sharp claws pierce through solid metal with ease, apparently. Not with difficulty, with ease. Robot mode gives him even more speed and maneuverability. Can drain enemies' energy and power himself with it. Also creates audio illusions and distracts and confuses vehicles. Also creates audio illusions which distract and confuse vehicles. There you go. Making them vulnerable to attack. I get that thing over the fit, but the BG, this is the thing with the BG. I'm not mad about BG. Often, all it does is that for me. Now and again, it's marginally exciting, and even rarer, it's quite fascinating and a bit thrilling. But generally, it's, just get it out of the way. It's like, show your sums in the margin. You know, that kind of way? Yeah. So, look at this. Nice for a nice bit of plastic. He's huge. Absolutely. He's huge. When this guy arrived, I was just like, wow. Now, I got him probably about 5 years ago. And he came out in 2000. He came out in 2000. So he was released, excuse me, in 2000. He may have come out as well. He's a little fey. I won't hold that against him. But he's just a big bat. He's a beautiful big bat. I love this guy. He's full of wonderful things. He's full of really bad design flaws, really bad decisions, and he looks like he was put together wrongly. I thought it was just this one, but it's everyone. Let's get on. He is a giant techno-organic bat, mostly blue, orange, brown. I'm calling it amber to be sexy. I'm calling it amber. There is brown, and there is gold, and there is this kind of bluiness, which is great. Look at his face. His jaw opens and closes. Unfortunately, it's not spring holding. It's not sprung, so I can't do the ha 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 He-Man, but it's just lovely. Now, the thing is about this guy, just be really careful when you're transforming him. I made the mistake very early on of thinking that he was your common or garden bot and you could just play with it. No, you can't. You've got to be delicate. Not only does it look fragile, it is fragile. It is a delicate thing. It's not a toy for children. If you give this to your child, I guarantee you it will be broken very, very soon. I have two Nightscream. This one has broken twice, and it required quite a bit of... Oh, the cat has just come out in the kitchen. Minor cat crisis averted. So I have two of these guys. One of them was broken. It wasn't broken when I got it. It broke when I got it because they all break. The other one is in the box and it's not coming out, just in case. I will transform him. First, I will show you some of the gimmicks. And during the course of the transformation, I'm just going to tell you the things to watch out for. Now, look at the lovely big thing. He does not stand very well. He looks great in this mold, like this. If you can get him to stand up, which is highly unlikely, this is a nice pose for him. But the legs aren't shored up. Massive oversight. Massive oversight. The legs, the rear legs here. It already looks a bit like a mess. It is a bit of a mess. It looks like a baboon's ass. You know that awful mess of a thing? The baboons look great. Mandrills, they'll look fantastic from the front. You see them, and they just look awesome. And then they turn around and it's like, whoa! What the fuck? That's what this guy's like. He's like the back of a baboon. This is the wrong way around. These legs, they are not fixed. They do not. There's no posts and port to make these things stay. They flop, as does this. This flops. It's a mess, an absolute mess. Now, it looks fine if you can get it to stay and not touch it. But as soon as you pick it up, look at this. This starts to happen. It looks like he's about to evacuate his bowels rather violently. It's just a mess. There's a design flaw here that you can tell that what was going to happen initially was that these things were going to come in and go around this thing, which is, is his head. There was going to be a post and port, but somewhere along the way, I think they designed themselves into a corner and they just thought, leave it like that. It'll be fine. It's not. It's not fine. That's why it breaks. That's why a lot of Transformers fans hate this guy. If these things had been fixed, he would be in the top 10 of everybody's, not just mine. So, this massive flaw aside, this awful nappy diaper affair aside, now, in order for this to look good, I've got to hold those in place, just the way it is. He is just a lovely big bat. Amber. Amber's a nice, sexy colour. Look at this for a little gimmick. As soon as you pull this thing up here, this houses lots of little discs. You see this little button springs forward. A little light has been activated. What you need to do is rotate this 180 degrees and it brings the light all the way forward. Let me see if I can show you how that works. It directs the light forward from the back into his eyes. You can just about see it here a little bit. And when I rotate that, it then rotates his head and that's just a cool little thing. You can just about see his eyes have lit up here a little bit. And as you can imagine, if the light was dimmer, it would look a lot better. Now, there's a little gimmick here, but it doesn't really work so well, because in order to get it to work, you've got to lower the head down, and when you press this big brown button in, a little disc deploys from there. But you have got to put the head down, and who wants to do that? So, I tend not to use this gimmick in this mode, but rather save it for the other mode. No flapping things, no flapping wings. There is another mode here which they call, what is it, the kick attack or something like that, and it basically involves you using the wings as feet, as like little stays, so that he can kick with his back legs. But it's really stupid, and he will fall over just because that's the way he is. He falls over. This is a very, very nice mode. Shame about this, but this is literally back of a bus ugly. Really, really not good. Look, he's got a head in his ass. Now, transformation. Transformation is quite easy, but you've got to be careful because this is where it wants to break. Now, we can just go ahead and fold the wings away. That's all quite easy. Look, they fold up very neatly into this thing. Very neatly indeed. And then we can straighten out these arms. There we go. Arms done. Now, legs. This is where you need to be careful, because this is where he breaks. The legs like to fall off. And not fall off as in some parts are made to be detached if they fall off. Some parts fall off because they break. Look at this. You see this thing here, which that's as stuck as it gets whenever you put it in debate mode. It really doesn't go anywhere. Comes all the way forward. First of all, I've got to pull these ears around like that and face them upwards like that. Then this comes down like that. See, I'm being so careful because this amber plastic, it's so brittle. This is where it breaks. And I'm being careful here because I am very concerned that it could still do that. Don't, oh God. Absolutely terrified of this thing to breaking. Now, you see post and port at the waist there. And I'm still not convinced it's going to stay. Little bit of leg movement here. Push it, you pull it down. You get about an extra 1.5 inches, something like that. This is quite cool. You see the bat toe here. You pull it all the way back and you make a heel for the bad boy, so he's going to stand up. But he's a bit like the Supreme Cheater in that respect. He does not like to stand up. He's too tall, he's too lanky, he's too top heavy, and he just likes to fall over. Now, next thing we do is we got to this odd flappy thing that was his ass. You would take this 180 degrees, and this tail is on backwards. All maximal owners of this chap here, this Nightscream, have a look at this tail, and you'll see what I mean. It seems to be on the wrong way around. In both modes, it seems to be on the wrong way around. You pull this bib, is all I can describe it, all the way down. Fix his arms up, these big blue stays again. We have brittle plastic here, so I've got to be very, very careful. I do not want this guy to break for a third time. Oh, Christ. And to a greater or lesser extent, here we have the maximal Nightscream in his robot mode. Just do a little bit of arm turning there. I like to turn his arms at the elbow so that his hands, oh, see, here how stiff that is. Do you know why that's so stiff? Dust, ladies and gentlemen. Dust will keep your butts stiff. That is not meant to sound rude, but it does. And there he is in his bot mode. And yes, he does look quite superb. You can do any old thing you want with these wings. Some people like to fold them backwards so that they form, you know, kind of a rear wing thing and don't take up so much of the forward. But I like to do it like this because I like the way his wings look. I think they look rather splendid. I like to display him like that. He is a nice big bot. I like any bot with wings, any bot that turns into a bat, any bot that's elegant and tall and thin that can still pull off a good alt mode is wonderful in my books. And he is that bot. Look at his face. He's got this odd kind of emo kid hair flick thing going on. Take or leave, it's fine. But it's just his wings that I find just so interesting. because it makes for a really supremely elegant bot, and that's always good. Now, gimmicks in this mode. There is a gimmick in this mode. You've got to lift up this bib, right? What you do is you take this bad boy, which is the missile launcher, and you pull it out, and it lights up immediately. And you do this. This is the oddest thing now. You turn it, and it will rotate back into the chest, and that big brown button at the back will come out in the cavity like that. It is an odd thing indeed. Now, that's him with the internal missile launcher rotated. Now, in order to launch it, you've got to pull this thing up like that, pull that up like that, and when you press the button at the back, the missiles will fire. I'm sure they will. Let's see if we can get one to happen. Oh Christ! The missiles will fire, won't they? Well, not firing quite so well, but I don't want it to do that anyway. You can see, imagine what happens once you press this big brown button here. Missiles fire from out of here, and they go quite a way across the room. It doesn't seem to be firing at the minute, which is, I'm fine with it. I think sometimes what happens, it's the same with the Optimal Optimus thing, is that if the missile's not kind of flush, if it's not in exactly the right position, it's not going to fire out. But that's okay. He is a beautiful big body. He hasn't been repainted, and he's the only Nightscream in this class. Oddly, there are a few other Nightscreams. I think there are 4 others. 3 of them are Minicons. And the one other Nightscream is Energon Starscream. I think that's his Japanese name. Is it Nightscream? I didn't think that was the case. Maybe it's just Energon Starscream. Maybe it's all Starscream and I'm just missing something. This is a nice bot. Just be really careful. He's huge. He's one of the biggest bots out there. He doesn't stand well. So what I do is he sits up there and his back goes against the wall, because it's the only way he seems to stand up properly. Otherwise, he will just fall over, he'll fall forward, he'll fall backwards, and he will break then if he hasn't broken already. This is where he likes to break, just right here in the leg, because this little post here is all that supports this giant leg section, and it likes to break. Because you can imagine when you're moving it, if you're not very careful and you don't move it perfectly on the horizontal or whatever, there's going to be a little bit of friction, a little bit of tension there, and it's just going to break. So be so careful with him. Beautiful bot. One of my favorites. Much maligned because he breaks like a bitch. Don't care. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Beast the Machines, Nightscream. Good night.
Now that's what I call a robot in the sky.